Today's first reading is one of the more disturbing readings that's offered to us for reflection for a daily Mass. And as I was reflecting on it, it's really hard to put into words a response to such devastation, such cruelty. And I think one of the most difficult challenges that we face in trying to live a faithful Christian life is holding on to hope in the midst of suffering, in the midst of tremendous suffering. I can only imagine how difficult that might be in the midst of suffering something as devastating as what we just heard. One of the commentaries that I referenced offered these words to draw out something for us to reflect on and consider in response to what we just heard. It's a way to hold on to hope. The commentary said this: the lesson of the first reading is very similar to that of previous days. God does not take vengeance as we humans do, but on the other hand, we do reap the natural consequences of immoral behavior. So that's referencing the fact that King Zedekiah, what happened to the Israelites was seen as a punishment from God, the consequences of not being faithful to what the Lord was asking of them. Commentary goes on, at the same time, even the most negative experiences can be turned around. A good example of this is to be found in Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, where he shows that those who survived best in the Nazi concentration camps were those who found positive meaning and something to live for even in the utter degradation of their surroundings. Out of all this corruption and immorality that we just heard about will come David's descendant, Jesus the Christ. God certainly does right straight with crooked lines. So ultimately, no matter what suffering we're experiencing, this is the source of our hope. Jesus. Jesus in his resurrection from the dead. Even the worst sufferings that we experience can be redeemed. And the Lord does will for us to be like the leper in today's gospel, to be healed completely. But this takes place on his timeline. So today, for those of us who might be struggling to hold on to hope, and those we know who are also struggling to hold on to hope in the midst of their suffering, and those who we don't know, invite us to ask for an outpouring of the Lord's grace for ourselves and for those people struggling to hold on to hope in the midst of suffering, remembering that the Lord does not abandon us at any moment, and he's always inviting us to offer him our suffering, to unite it to his suffering, which can be redeemed, which is redemptive, and which can lead us to where we desire to be with him in eternal life.